What's up guys, and welcome to the War Thunder tutorial series part 18. Today is going to be all about the F14 Tomcat and how to improve your survivability and deadliness. So first, you're going to want to go to your options, go over to air battle settings. You're going to want to find use rectangular radar indicator. Turn that on, turn radar cycling off, and then turn the elevation control on. Your guys' names might be slightly different. Mine's kind of bugged since I used the custom kill messages. You're also going to want to go to your controls, go down to weaponry. First of all, you're going to want to find radar IRST beyond within visual range combat. You're going to want to bind this as whatever you want. I use R. You're also going to want to go down and find sensor Q, X, and Y. You can use whatever you want. I use the arrow keys, so left, right, up, down on the arrow keys. So now you got your radar set, and you might be thinking, you know, this doesn't look all that much different, doesn't look all that useful, but that's because you're not done. So you need to press Y, go to your multifunction menu, press 1 for radar. You're going to want to press 5 to change the IRST mode to TWS. And now you're going to notice that the radar is going to have circles and a line, and the line indicates which direction the plane is going. And this is, think of this as a top-down view, so you're looking at the very top of their plane. So right now we could imagine that their plane is going towards the left since the line is pointed to the left. And it also has a passive lock on them right now. It's tracking them. They just notched me. Hang on. We'll cover notching in a second as well. Alright, so now we have that passive lock again. And we see them on our radar. They're flying away from us. So now if we use the slew buttons, which I have the arrow keys, you can move this up, down, left, right, all over, right? If you move it right over to where they are, that circle on the radar, and you're still holding that passive lock, now if you do your radar lock button, boom, you have your lock, right? If you switch over to some kind of AA, let's say, just for the sake of this, let's use some sparrows. As long as it's in the circle, you can get your lock. So we're going to send out a sparrow once we have a decent lock here. Let's just send it just for the sake of the video. One thing that you're always going to want to do when you launch these, you do not face straight to their plane. You're going to want to angle yourself. Kind of like this. This is going to protect you. This should be a good hit. Boom. Good hit. This is going to protect you because this is going to give you an opportunity to notch. And what notching is basically, long story short, is flying perpendicular to their missile. These early radar systems do not track good if they're looking at the side of your plane like this. So if you fly perpendicular to their radar missile, chances are it's going to break lock and it's going to just blow itself up. Or it'll fly after something else. So right now we have a passive lock, and we could move the arrow keys up to it and lock on it that way, but that's not always the best case, right? If you're dogfighting, you don't want to be using the arrow keys and other stuff. There's a lot of circumstances where you don't want to be using arrow keys and trying to manually lock. So what you can do is you can press R, and now you're going to be using a totally different source mode. So another really good thing about this radar and its capabilities is the IFF function, or identify a friendly foe. So right now if we look at our radar, we have a circle here with a line on top. And the line on top actually indicates that it's a friendly. So if we extend our radar range, I extended it way too far. Here we'll see a bunch of radar pings with no lines on top, and those are enemies. Makes it nice and simple for you. Just gotta check it quick, and this works the same in sim battles. So another really big useful tool, if you're radar locked to someone, you can actually spool up a Fox 2 heat seeker using your radar. See how it's following the radar lock even though we're not even looking at it right now? So you can lob your heat seeker out, and it's going to track that radar lock. going to swing right around and it's going to smack them. So you don't always have to be facing them in order to lob your heat seeker out. And we just have a few last minute tips and tricks. So always try to bring as little fuel as you can. If it's one of the smaller maps, I usually only bring about 20 minutes of fuel, and I don't use that much afterburn. I let all my teammates get ahead of me and let them die, and I really hope that there's only going to be a few enemies left, so then it's not just a big cluster. And speaking of the smaller maps, I highly recommend not bringing Phoenixes on the smaller maps. Instead, bring extra Sparrows, right? So this is the lineup that I usually run right here, which is 4 Heat Seekers and 4 Sparrows. It's actually an extremely powerful lineup. For the bigger maps, the simulator, quote-unquote, maps, I do run 2 Phoenixes, 2 Heat Seekers, and 4 Sparrows. The Sparrows have a higher the G overload, so they turn quicker, and they just track way better in my opinion. The Phoenixes are just not really great at these small maps with as many planes in the sky as there are. As always, guys, I hope this tutorial helps out, and if you have any more questions or anything else that I can help you guys with, be sure to let me know in the comments or message me. However you want to get a hold of me, anything works. With that being said, this tutorial will also be posted on YouTube, so feel free to check it out there, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe.